Before we get to the game, before the game, I was stopped by an usher, an ESPN cameraman, and a security officer who personally thanked us for doing everything we've been doing protocol-wise, traveling the day of game, doing all that stuff to keep these games going, because that's paychecks for them. If they don't have games, they don't get paid. Concession stands don't open. Bus drivers don't get people picking them up at the airport. I relayed that to our team. I think it's a very, very important part that not everybody gets a chance to see and hear, but for those people to personally stop me on the way to the court or just as we were walking around when we got here 2.5 hours early, really made a huge impact on our team and our kids, and just, again, making sure that we know why we're playing and how much value that carries to everybody. So I'll leave it at that and take questions about the game.
Paul, go ahead.
Just start of you feel like your team, stayed in it for about 3/4. You just kind of wear down. I mean,
yeah, you do. I mean, when you see how well conditioned they are, how disciplined they are, how fast they play, it just has a wearing effect. And this is where having played our 16th game catches up to us a little bit. And that's okay. We understand that. This is, again, I think a South Carolina team that y'all know how much praise I gave them last year. I think they were on their way to a national championship, and this team is just as explosive, just as deep, just as hard to guard, and just incredibly hard to get a shot off. The fact that we got off 71 shots is a small victory.
Greg, go ahead.
Hey, Mike, I was just curious, going off of that, what can you do about Aaliyah Boston, if anything, or is she just, not too good for you guys?
I mean, you can try to pressure her a little bit more. You can send maybe a triple team, but then it's just going to be, it's Bria Bill's night or Zai Cook's night if you do that. That's just what makes these guys so good. And it's not just her size. I hate it when people just think, and I'm not saying you did this, Greg, but I just, when people go, oh, well, she's just so much bigger. She's incredibly skilled. She's incredibly smart. She moves without the ball. She seals you when the ball's in the air. She's just somebody, I think anybody that we need more true low post players in the country. I would love for there to be more to go around like that. I would love for there to be more to go around like that. People need to study her. People like her are going to about 5 schools in the country, and right now we're not one of them. So that's okay. We have to play the way we play, but all the credit goes to her. She's an incredibly hard worker, and it's not just because she's big, y'all. Now, she is that. She is that, but she works hard. She plays through the system. She makes you wrong, and I think is the key that those other kids feed off of.
Alyssa, go ahead.
Mike, at the 2:41 point in the third quarter, you're down 3, and then obviously the game gets away from you. So what do you learn from that point on about your team that you move forward with?
Well, that we've got it in us. We know it's there, and that's that puncher's chance we always talk about. We've got a puncher's chance to do it, but there's a lot of things that have to go right, especially on the road, especially on a day when you travel. All of those things magnify. You take those into a neutral site, and maybe that 3-point deficit's maybe a little bit of a lead, and then the other team reacts a little differently. So you've got to take it all into account. What I take out of it is how our kids look doing it. We talked a lot about we've been very harsh on ourselves about some film the last couple of weeks on just how we looked. There were times we looked frustrated. There were times we looked out of sync. I don't think that's the case. I just think we keep playing teams that are still just a little bit better than us, and we can't put together the full 40 minutes it requires to win on the road against one of them.
Matt, go ahead.
Coach, a big day here with the Asia Wilson statue being unveiled. I'm just wondering, it's a lot of excitement here. What does that statue mean for the game of women's basketball?
Well, I tweeted out about it. I went outside and took a picture of it. I think it's super cool that we were here the day that it got unveiled. And what I put at the end of my tweet is, we need more of those. We need a statue of our great women athletes on every single campus in America. I think obviously that Asia is such a special story because she's a home state kid that stayed home and kind of got this thing going for Dawn. They had it going in the right direction already, but she was the one that really, to me, put it over the top. and she's been such a gracious player and spokesman for our game. I think it's a phenomenal display of how important it is, and I hope more campuses will follow suit. I hope we can do something one day for some of our women's players, and we're it's kind of one of those double-edged swords. You knew they were going to play with a lot of emotion. That video, her speech, her quote. I'll say this, I don't mean her quote to me. I read every Martin Luther King quote that came out today because everybody was tweeting them. I'm not so sure that Asia Wilson's wasn't the best quote of the day about her family not being able to walk on this campus, and there's a statue of her built on it. Man, that's pretty powerful on a day when there were a lot of great quotes. I'm not so sure that one doesn't win quote of the day.
Any other questions for Coach? Alyssa, go ahead.
Hey, Mike, back at the Tennessee game, we were talking about how you didn't have any points from the bench, and Aaron Barnum put up 13 today. I know Marquisha Davis had 3, but what have you seen that's kind of from that point to now, how they have improved and gotten some of that confidence back?
Well, they hit the freshman wall, even though they're both kind of sophomores. In minutes played, they were still freshmen, and everybody hits that. And we got to 15 games quicker than we just got to the wall. Their minutes had been scattered. They had both had some time away with injuries and COVID related things. So it mounted up, and now we're past it. We got to the wall. We got over the wall or through it. I'm not sure whether we went over it, but we went through it. We had great they had their best 2 days of practice after some conversations with coaches and the rest of their teammates, and just feeling how important they are to us down the stretch. As we continue to, mount up and play a bunch of games, we've got to have them not only give us valuable minutes, but contribute. And I thought they really responded. And that's what I think we'll be most proud of is they listened, they took it, and they got over that wall. They didn't let the wall beat them down.
Good time to have a week off now for you.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. The schedule, the way it fell, having that bye come in there and not having any games fall in there, gives us a chance to rest a little bit, catch up, maybe do a little extra film work, but really take care of our bodies. About everybody on our roster's got a training room appointment every day. So it'll be good to kind of catch our second win and go down this last part of the season. It doesn't get any easier in this league. I think we had 7 teams ranked as of this afternoon. It seems like every time, I look at the top 25 rankings, it's like our schedule. It's like looking at our schedule. So, but that's what all these kids came here for. So we will use the time off to rest up a little bit, regroup, and I hope improve a little bit from it.
Dick, go ahead.
Coach, can you talk about what Chelsea brings to your program?
Well, she initially just brought the fact that it was a good place to come play basketball. She could have gone a lot of places when she transferred, but she bought into our vision way back when we weren't very good, when we were picked 14th in our league, not 14th in the country. So, and just the way that she continues to play and make our team, she's putting up great numbers on teams that continue to compete and win games. But I think what she meant to us being that first kid to say, hey, I'm going to Arkansas. A little bit like, again, not comparing her and Asia, but for us and with the situation we were in, she was that kid that said, hey, I'm going to go there. Y'all come with me, and we'll get on ESPN2 games. If this would have been a Monday night game 3 years ago, I can assure you it would not have been ESPN2. It would not have been. And for us to have that game on that, I think those are just little small things, Dick, that I think add up for us and will help leave the legacy that she's going to leave on our program.
Last one, Paul, go ahead.
Okay. Hey, Coach, the fact that Vanderbilt opted to end their season today, I was looking at your schedule. That gives you now, after tonight, 1 game in 13 days. Have you even thought about that at this point?
Yeah, it's my hope that that's not the case. I've already made about 4 phone calls trying to find a non-conference game for that date. I really hope that the first one I made becomes true. We'll keep you posted on it. But we went right to work. As soon as we landed, that news broke. And, again, that's just keeping in alignment, Paul, with what this group of kids told us. They said they wanted to lead the country in games played. They want to play every chance they get. They don't care who it's against. They don't care where it is. They don't care when it is. They don't want to have 13 days off. They know what it felt like to have the season stripped away from them. And if the opportunity's there and we can make it work out, I already talked to administration. They're very supportive of it. We just got to make sure we can find the right opponent that makes sense for us. But I sure hope we don't have to take 13 days off between now. We just have to be the Georgia, I think Georgia, and then it'd be Auburn. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. I hope that doesn't happen, but if it does, we'll figure out a way to do it.